who's been with us since the program started 16 years ago. And I think in some ways, most importantly, has lived in our community for the past 45 years. In addition to the seniors, you have children, grandchildren, and I think great-grandchildren.
Great-grandchildren.
And great-grandchildren. Oh my goodness. Who live in the community. So you raised your children here. You're now seeing your children raising their children. And does your grandchild who has a child live in this community also, or?
Very interesting
so
story.
You're seeing so many generations.
Very interesting story. My granddaughter and her husband are fourth generation East Siders. However, when they were first married, they lived here, had child number 1 here, and child number 2 needed a larger apartment where they were subletting, could not afford the co-op sublet prices, not even considering a price to buy, so they recently had to leave the community. But they're parents.
So do you think that's typical of, I mean, as this community is gentrified, is it becoming increasingly difficult for the community that you live in here, for the next generation to be able to afford to live here?
For sure. For sure. What used to happen was that when children got married, or even before they got married, they would apply for an apartment in the co-ops, so that by the time they got married, there would be one waiting. And of course,
and they used to be affordable.
They used to be affordable, and they were not private. Once privatization came in, they could no longer do that. And the flip side was that people who did have apartments were able to sell them, and now with that money afford to buy a home in the suburbs, which is the American ideal to many. People.
So, having raised your children in this community, were you a consumer of programs at the Educational Alliance? Did your kids come here for programs? And
actually, I think my grandchildren were original enrollees in the Torah Head Start. They used to come here for, actually thinking way back, my husband used to be a lecturer in the Friday night lecture series that used to be held here. I forgot the name of the organization. It was New Era Club, I think was what it was called. And from
those lectures were after Shabbat dinner. People came back to the Alliance for lectures in the auditorium.
Yes.
So interesting.
Yes. And he was among the speakers in that lecture series. My first job, when I started working, was here at the Educational Alliance as one of the, I don't remember what the title was, as one of the people who tried to enroll vendors to participate in the street fair that was held every spring for the community.